Hello, this is Ken of the Kiss FAQ podcast. This is something that we're going to try, a little new segment. I talked to Julian a week or two ago and talked about doing these little things around vinyl, Kiss vinyl. So, and we're going to be call it Kiss Vinyl Minutes. So we'll see how many minutes it may turn out to be. I didn't want to go with Kiss Vinyl Minute because I know it's going to last a lot longer than that. But hopefully we won't go too long. So today, on this episode or segment of Kiss on Vinyl, it's going to be Destroyer in color. So what I mean about that is basically not black vinyl. So, and I have some colored vinyl and so on. So I thought we'd do that. And also at the end of this, my last one that I will show will be a actual opening. I will cut the seal on the Record Store Day release of the Destroyer sampler that was came out a couple of days ago. That I was lucky and fortunate enough to pick up. I guess they pressed about 10,000 of these things, so I still could have found it anyway without standing in line. But standing in line is kind of makes it more, the effort is there and it's good. So without further ado, let's get into some Kiss Destroyer in color. And first of all, what we have is from 1977, a Destroyer album, but it looks like most any other one. You don't normally see the Casablanca logo on the upper right hand corner, but this one is on the PYE, or you call Pi or PYE label, from the UK. And here we go. Let's see what we have. Okay. What we have here is a red vinyl on the PYE label. So this is something that label did back in the late 70s. And they did all of the albums. I want to say they did the first album through Dynasty, I think. I could be wrong on that, but I think it was through Dynasty. And they pressed them all on red vinyl, kind of a special thing they did. And that was kind of cool. So I did collect all of those at one point. I don't have them all still. I think I let my Kiss Alive red go. Otherwise, I think I have all of the rest. Okay, let's move on. Next, we have another, of course, Destroyer. We're talking about Destroyer again. Here's Destroyer. This is a limited edition from, I want to say, is it 5 years ago? Maybe. We'll see what it is here. This is a limited edition you can tell also by the little barcode there. I don't know if I stuck that on there. It might have been on shrink wrap, and then I might have stuck it in here. I can't remember how that came. But I open my vinyl and enjoy it. I don't just let it sit on the shelf like some people. I pull it out, enjoy it, play it too. All right, so let's see what we got here. This normal Destroyer insert, of course, and this one. Yes, this one is another. Well, it's a red vinyl, but it's a different kind of red vinyl. This is actually very, very nice, like a splatter swirl or something, black and red. It's almost crimson, which is kind of apropos with, spitting blood, Gene Simmons, that sort of thing. So yeah, that's pretty cool. That's a nice one. You might be able to find it out there. I think it was limited on Kiss Online back when it came out. I don't have any sticker. I don't know if it's a 35th or 45th anniversary. I'm not totally sure on that one anymore, but I'd have to research that one. Next, Destroyer. Here we go. Now this one was a little different. This is the Resurrected, where Bob Ezrin, uh, Mark's favorite producer, by the way. Anyway, yeah, Bob Ezrin remixed this album, and they call it Resurrected, Destroyer Resurrected instead of just Destroyer. So this one obviously has a tag on here. It's a Walmart exclusive orange vinyl. So let's see what it looks like. It looks like we got, oh, you know what? Might as well show this other stuff too here. This is cool that comes, if you can find it, this is kind of a neat addition. Has an insert with pictures and I think Bob Ezrin's comments and so on about making it and probably remixing it. I haven't read it in a while, so I'm not sure. But here is the vinyl of this one here. Here we go. It's supposed to be orange, and it's a kind of a very translucent. It's kind of very pale orange. And it depends on where you hold it and the light and that sort of stuff. But there it is. So, not bad. Pretty cool. It's not everything's not great or bad about having colored vinyl. I don't think it sounds better or worse than other vinyl, like black or whatever. So, except when you're talking about picture disc, which I think we may come to pretty soon here. All right, next we have, this is the 45th anniversary. 5 years ago, they had the box set, and they also had other little limited runs exclusives. So this one is what I guess you would call the censored logo for, I don't know, it's Germany or whatever, because that's what they did. They had this version back in the 70s. I mean, not in the U.S. It didn't come out that way back then, but that's the logo that is censored because of the S's were too close to you know what. So let's go into these out. Now this is colored vinyl, and both colored vinyls, I don't want to say vinyls, but vinyl are different colors from each other. So let's go with the first one here. And they also censored it on there too, and on the Army logo. So that's a nice touch there to do it. If you're going to do it one place, you should be consistent and do it in the other places. So there we go. This one is yellow, just your regular standard kind of yellow vinyl. Yeah, looks okay, not bad. So that's okay. But the other disc is another color. They didn't just make them both yellow. Oh, and the other point about this too is, I believe these were half speed. Oh, there it is. The 40. It was the 45th, right? Well, we said it on the cover too, I think. All right, here we go. But the other good thing about these, I think they were half speed mastered, at least the Destroyer remaster or whatever, the first album should have been half speed mastered, I think, at Apple, from what I understand. Okay, this is the other disc. Side 3 and 4 was the kind of the extras that were kind of selections from the box set, whether demos or whatever, for that, where the first disc is just the regular Destroyer album. So that's a pretty cool one that came out 5 years ago already. So that's a good one. We'll put that aside. Next, getting through them here. All right, this is the recent stuff. Okay, I think I showed this on the episode of the kissfaq podcast a couple weeks ago, but we'll show it again. Why not, right? The Kiss Destroyer in color, 50th anniversary. Now this one, it's a nice sleeve on there with the embossing and so on. Now this one is it looks like purple and gold, I think, or something like that. Not bad. A little bit more on that side, a little bit like a big splotch looking back. I think I like this side better because it's not all in maybe one place. So that came out pretty good. I do like these newer ones. At least they're putting more thought into them. They have the, like I said, embossing, kind of it's a gold there, and then the shiny embossed band right here, where it's flat here and shiny right there. So, and that was an interruption. I hope won't happen again. So here we go. We'll try to get through this. Hopefully, it's not an emergency. All right, next, what we're going to go to here is another Destroyer album from recent. And this one's very cool. But the thing is, well, let's open it up. It's not their standard. It's the color. It's in color. Well, maybe not totally in color. Here we go. 50th anniversary. Gold foil type color cover on this one. Very similar to the other one in a way that I just showed. And then we have the disc here. Okay, picture disc. There it is. So color from 76. Photo sessions that happened around that time. This one here, very patriotic, very good for the 250th anniversary of the U.S. coming up on July 4th this year. So, hey, display it proudly for the anniversary. It was it. Mark say USA, yeah. Kind of mocking me, I think, in a way, a little bit there. All right. I said final minutes. I don't know how many we've gone so far, but this should be ending shortly because I'm on the last one. Here it is. Kiss special album for the summer tour featuring cuts for all formats. This is something that they released only to radio stations and maybe record stores during that time period. Just not for sale. It was not for sale at all. So it became a collector's item. And funny enough, last year I did sell this out of my collection. I had one copy of it and I sold it. I don't know what's going to happen with these coming out, if it's going to drive the value of some of those down or what. I think it will. But I think it's kind of a neat touch that they did this because not everyone can afford the original or find it for that matter because there's only so many made and the collectors pretty much gobbled them up. So this is it here. And it had 4 songs to sample the album at the time when Destroyer came out 50 years ago. So this was a record store day deal. So let's see what it looks like. I said it's, it better be in color, of some sort of color, because that's what this episode's about. And I will try to cut this open here without doing anything bad to the album cover. And it looks so far so good. So here we go. Let's pull it out. Okay. So they got the labels to look like. That's how the original labels looked. I think this is 45 RPM versus the original was 33 RPM. So that's a difference right there. Okay, here's the disc. It's kind of more towards the middle, but hey, what do you want? Here it is. It's kind of on the intersection, the most of the what they would call kind of a splatter, I guess. Let's go to the other side. I would have liked it to splatter bigger if possible, but hey, they're not all the same. That's what makes them unique. None of these are going to be exactly the same as each other because of the way they, do them, using what they call the biscuit, I believe they call it, for making these vinyl albums. So there you have it. Episode 1, maybe, or whatever you want to call it, of the segment is complete, and that was Kiss Destroyer in color. I hope you enjoyed looking at some of my vinyl, and hopefully we'll talk about either something else, maybe color, maybe production, maybe something about the inner groove. It could be anything regarding or misprints. That could be another one too. So anyway, thanks for joining me, and hopefully we'll see you next time.
Oh, hey, you're still here, watching or listening. Why don't you hit that subscribe button or click the like one? And if you want even more, click on the join button on YouTube. Thanks for your support.